Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gamers DMZ. Back with another 7 o'clock. Glad you joined us. So, on the dot, it's hot. All right. So, joining me, we got Mr. Mega Elixir. And then followed by OG Double M. And then Mr. Sir Rich. And finally, we have the one.
Hopefully, everyone is enjoying their week. Tomorrow is Friday. So let's get ourselves together and let's start talking about gaming. But first, I want to talk about what we've been playing and what has been taking all our time away in gaming. So let's start with OG. What have you been playing?
Let's see.
Oh, you got a C?
Usual.
Okay.
Starfield, of course, still playing that. Baseball, my love, and
Which you were just playing.
yep.
Couldn't get you over here in time, but you were just playing.
Oh yeah, got to get that
Not
in.
mad. I got to get that in. Not mad at you. What else, sir?
And Liza P. I just started Liza P. And I just got the hang of it. How to fight. I'm loving it.
Oh, you loving it?
I'm loving it. Like McDonald's.
I was just about to say. Crowing like a
Oh, stop.
booster. That's all I know. Something more than a booster.
Okay. And that have you beat anything?
Beat the game, man. It's
No,
been a
I
while
didn't
since I
say beat that game. I said have you beat any game?
lately. No.
Okay, so you should be in what your uh 2025 season in baseball. Since you play
Yeah, I'm
so much.
about 50 games in.
Okay. So you playing a real season.
Yeah, I always play real seasons.
Okay. Okay. All right. Jazzy Motor, what about you?
I have been playing Elden Ring, and I finally beat it, but I'm not done with the game. Um, so much crap to do. What else?
So you beat you beat all the main quest to get to the storyline. Are you saying that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did the
So
required
you got
things
1,000.
and
Okay.
beat the main boss. Yep, I'm Elden Ring. I'm the Elden Lord.
Are you Elden Lord?
Yep. Um,
All right.
I played some Counter Strike 2 actually since it converted over. I'm kind of sad about that, but it is what it is. Um, Vampire Survivors
Did you play the
and
new download or
yeah, I downloaded it
okay?
today. And Starfield. Yeah, not as much, but I did play some Starfield.
Okay. What about you, Surge? Oh, sorry. Did you beat anything? No, you did beat what you call. Okay,
Yep, Elden
Surge. What
Ring.
about you?
Well, I was playing Elden Ring. I played a little bit of that. Getting into that again. Uh, Tried to play Diablo. Was bored. Turned it off.
Oof.
It was like I turned it on. I was like, yeah. No,
Oh
not
wow,
Diablo.
playing it.
really?
Diablo's fun with a group. I'll say
Yeah,
that. You
yeah.
need a group of people to play Diablo.
You really do right now because you get more enemies, and this is like
Right.
it's way better. I was playing Sifu. That game is lovely. I like the way
That's
it
your
is. If you
that's your ten
hmm
dollar game, right? That's your $10 game or 19.99 game. Because I know
it
you
was
bought it on sale.
16 on sale.
Okay.
So it
I
was
know
like
you
a
bought it on.
$17. Yeah, it was on sale. And then I had a $10 card, so use some $10 points. And so it was like $6 for me. Something like that. I don't know. And then I turned on squadrons because every time I fly around in Starfield I'm gonna play squadrons. So I turned on squadrons a little
That's
bit.
That's weird.
Tell him what. No, say
No,
what you
it's
told
not
me
weird.
about the shield.
No, it's not weird because it's like when I'm getting shot in the booty, I want to turn my shields to the butt. All my power, I can redirect my power to my butt.
Stop. Next. Stop. Stop.
He's
Stop.
right.
Stop. Stop. I don't want to hear
Boosters.
that. Okay, your boosters. Okay, stop.
Yeah.
Your
Okay, what else
boosters.
have you
It's
been playing? What else you been
and
playing?
I played Starfield and it irritated me so well. It really did.
Okay, I don't want to go into what because I know you are temperamental about certain games, so I don't want to go into what
It
made you.
was just the fact that I selected because I'm trying to get my powers. And I selected where to land, and it landed me like right next to where I needed to be. And I couldn't run from where I was to the other area because it was like a different part. You know, it was like it wasn't in the same area. So that's what irritated me. I'm like, it's right there. I should be able to run there. This is silly. Like, and I searched this whole area for like 2 hours, and then all I had to do was like select a little bit to the right, and I would have been where I needed to be. And that's what was irritating, the fact that I couldn't run from one area to another, like they're not connected. And that like really broke some of the merging. And then I started searching in space, and I was like, wait a minute, this is like a block. This ain't really like space. Like, and I started seeing the merging was broken with that. And I was like, ah, and that's what irritated me. But I can get the immersion back. I'm back on trail, so I just gotta. That was just that session that got ruined a little bit. That's all. But
Okay. Anything else?
oh, it's an okay game. It ain't bad. It's like I said. It's like a nice mid game to me so far. I got 20. I'm 20 hours in. It's still it's best of game. It's the best of game.
Okay, it's a Bethesda game.
The best.
Um, Let me see. That's all you played, or what else?
Yeah, because I was Sifu and Starfield were the main games I was really playing. Because Starfield, you know, when you running around and stuff, it's like sometimes you could get lost in thought and trying to do something.
Okay, let me see. I played some Diablo. I played Batman, Arkham.
Yeah, you was
I
getting the
played,
points because
yeah,
I
yeah,
downloaded it again.
yeah, that's exactly.
Hmm.
And I did the quick way to get the points. I just didn't do the story mode. I did the battle
You went to the battle. Yep.
mode,
I
which
was
went
gonna do that.
straight
What
to
was gonna do was do the extra downloaded stuff because I didn't do
yeah,
any percentage of
yeah. So I did.
those.
Oh, okay. So I did that. What else did I play? Uh, Anybody else know what I played
Starfield.
outside
We
of
all know you
Starfield?
play some.
Well, I was no, I was
Did you
going
play
to
Mortal
go.
Kombat? No.
No, you know good and well I'm not playing Mortal Kombat.
But
So
he don't
you
do
knew
fighting
that answer.
games.
You know I had to say it. I was just
I
being
know you
funny.
were. I know you got jokes.
And
So
oh, but
no, but what I was gonna say is that what else? No, I didn't play that. No, that's all I played. I played the second State of Decay. I just downloaded Party Animals and what was that other game I played? I had
you
to
know you
delete
want
it.
to play
Yeah,
it,
we all gotta
gotta
play
do
that
it.
Yeah,
together.
we all got to play that. So we all have to pick a time because we all got to play that together. What is that game
Hey
that was
girl.
having all these issues?
Hey girl.
Uh,
Play, Payday. And this is going to hinge on something else because I thought you could log straight in, but you have to create
You
an
can
account. You got to create an account
for
on
what?
their
Who
site to play
who made
Payday.
who made a Payday? Not the
You have
developer, not like a Ubisoft account. So that's why I was like, who
no
made it? Like,
right. It's a Payday. You got to go to their site, create an account. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
oh,
If
that's
I
it's
can't
like
authenticate, no,
Hitman.
Hey,
I'm not.
I just want to
I'm
play the
not. If I
game.
can, right.
Ah, it's
If
one
I
of
can't,
those
That's
games.
so annoying.
no. What I'm saying and this goes into what we're going to talk about later. I don't like giving all that information to people.
Not to a
So if I have
random
to,
game.
no, if I have to create a separate account just to play your game, so I deleted it. But let me get to. I was playing Starfield, and I
Yeah.
uploaded this video. So I wanted to talk about this. Then we
Excuse
get
me.
to the subjects. But I was playing Starfield, and you guys know Starfield. In Starfield, you can go to so many different ways, and you can hone in on so many different expertise. Right? Let's call it
Mm-hmm.
expertise.
Yeah.
And so I'm not buying the ship because the ship's called spaceships. I'm not going to call them ships. Let's call them spaceships. Spaceships cost a lot of money. So what I started doing was stealing them,
Yeah.
which is half
Still
the
stealing.
battle, which is it's
Space
fun. So
GTA.
it's fun to steal a ship. So it was this. I was on a planet,
Nice.
and this ship landed, and I'm like, okay, let me run over there. So I ran over there with my companion. You know, you always carry a companion, which they don't do anything until early in the
Mm-hmm.
battle. And I'm running to this ship, and I ran all the way over there, and they had what's the hardest uh, lock you have to pick? I think it's expert or is it master? I think it's master.
It's master,
And
master, expert.
very expert. So they gave me an expert lock to pick, and it took me because with the expert you have probably 10, no, at least 10 different combinations, and all of the combinations, 3 or 4 or 5 may work in all of them. So you have to go through each one, and I
Mm-hmm.
solved that.
Unless you got
And
the blue
they
thing. You got the blue
I
thing.
didn't do it. No, I didn't do it. I solved it myself because I wanted to challenge. I told you I don't mind lock picking. I love that,
It's
especially where you
fun.
got to think about it. So
I'm telling you, you
I,
should get that
I
blue since it shows you what levels all of them can work on. It
right,
doesn't.
but I just right. I yeah right. They it does. Yeah, I saw somebody say that it can do that, but I pre-solve it in my head because you can put the
Yeah,
various
that's the
ones
only
over
way to
each
really
one.
do it.
Right, that's the only way because then you're 100% sure, but you just got to have your memory flowing with it. Needless to say, I solved the puzzle, and I think I uploaded the video of the ship, and I sent it to OG. Did you see it,
No, I didn't see
OG?
it.
Because you don't
No,
check
I
your
didn't
mess.
see it.
Yeah.
You don't check your message in the Xbox. Needless to say, um I was, I picked the lock. So I'm like, the ship is mine, right? So I went up to the cockpit and tried to fly it. It says you're not a Class C. How would a speed
Mm.
off?
That's what happened to me when the first time I tried to steal a ship. The
You
first
have to.
time.
So not
Committing
only
crimes and
did I have
whatnot.
to have an expert um, lock picking capabilities, but I also had to have the piloting skills to fly the
Yeah.
plane. So I
Exactly.
had to go back, and now I'm
The
doing the
simulator.
piloting. Yeah, the simulator. I didn't know.
Exactly.
Somebody else told me to go to the simulator. Don't sit out
Me,
there and fight.
I
You
told
said
you.
that, and then somebody else told me that too. It's like,
Yeah.
do not go out in space and level up. Just level
Yeah.
up through the simulator.
Just
You
go to
did
the
say it last
simulator.
week. Yeah, right. And somebody else said it this week. So that's what I did. I went to the simulator and started leveling up. So I got
And
like
you tried
30
to
more.
tell me you ain't want to know that. And it was some
Okay.
good info I was giving you.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
good info.
I was peed off. I was peed off. That's what I was. I stopped playing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm done. Because
Because it's annoying, like you, especially if you like what I did. I had to fight the ship, disable it, get on the ship, kill
yeah,
everybody, and then when I finally got to the captain's chair, they said, "Nah, you can't do that. You're not smart enough. You're not skilled enough." What?
the ship
I'm gonna
was
find some way to
awful.
get this up. I'm gonna go look
Uh,
for
I
it.
don't think I'll ever find another ship like that. I really don't because that ship, and
You'll know if you play long
I'm a
enough. You
post,
will.
yeah, I'm a
You gonna
post
find
the
one
video
better than
again.
that.
Yeah,
You'll find one better than that.
that ship was off the chain. It had 3 or 4 levels. It had a cafeteria. It had a med room. This ship has everything.
Shoot, where was this
And
ship at?
I was,
They had a
Yeah.
bedroom.
That's why I
it had
said
a
I
med
wanted to get
room.
my piloting up because I saw a level B ship that was dope that had all the benches on it, and I was like, "Ooh, I need to get my piloting up."
And then you can get, and if see, the problem is as you get your crew up, they all can't fit on the ship because you
Yep.
got
So you need a bigger
you,
ship. You need a larger ship.
that's why I can fit my whole crew, and I can be like the Enterprise. I can fit my whole crew on it. But anyway, I just wanted to get that off for a hot second.
Myers boy, that's a Starfield.
That's my nephew.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you for
that's my
showing up.
nephew.
Don't forget to like
Yeah,
and
thanks,
subscribe,
Fez. That's my
y'all.
nephew.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
what's up. Showing up.
Yep.
yeah.
Appreciate
Thanks for showing up, nephew. But I was playing, and then RTB. That's one of my workout buddies. I didn't know he was a senior,
He calls you a thief.
but
you. You talk
who
about
called me a
stealing
thief?
ships.
Who called me a thief? Oh, I knew
RTVC.
he'd call me. Oh, okay.
He's like, I'm a space
I
pirate.
kn- I knew. Yeah, I knew he would call me a thief. So that's my workout buddy. So we go at each other. So he of all people, I'm happy he said it. So that's good. But that that was fun. See, people don't understand all the dimensions you can. That experience I had in Starfield is not the same OG had. You had or
Right.
anybody. You had it right. It's all everyone has a different experience. But those are the games I played this week.
But one thing I might say is, even though I was annoyed in playing, this is why I was like, I wanted to say it, because even though I did that, I got like 2 levels because I was surveying the whole time I was there. So I
Oh
did
yeah,
earn
you
like 2 levels
yeah.
while I was surveying. So it wasn't in vain. It was just annoying. Not annoying enough to stop playing the game, just annoying. Just made me determined to find where I needed to go. Really, that kind of annoying.
Okay.
Annoying that made it determined, that built determination.
Oh, by the
Okay.
way, you kind of skipped me a bit.
Oh, I'm sure did. Sif. What did you play? I'm sorry. I want to
Yeah.
go to you
And
next.
OG missed one. He played Mortal Kombat. He told me.
Oh, he played
Oh,
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat.
he told me
yeah,
as well. Mortal Kombat 1, yeah.
But Mega, go on here. You had a
Go
floor.
ahead. I
Yeah.
missed you.
Yeah, I'll keep it short though.
You don't have to. You got
Because
to. You got to go ahead.
I mean I only
Mega
play
didn't
like
play that
two
It's
much.
games
Ah,
game
there you
really.
go.
time.
But
I know Mega ain't played that much.
Uh,
but yeah, the
What you play,
two
Mega?
but
What
yeah,
you play?
I played F-Zero 99 and I played a little bit of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
Now you supposed to beat that.
True,
We get
that
lost. We
should be
probably get
my
lost.
goal.
We
say
get lost in
I'm
Starfield.
doing
He'd be
all the
like,
Yeah.
side
"What's that over
quests.
there? I see a temple. Let me
No,
go."
that's just because like against like other stuff like well YouTube because sometimes YouTube gets in the way whenever like
Okay.
how can I put it? Yeah, just YouTube and like other stuff like um
like what?
well for one thing college.
That don't start till January. So next,
Yeah, that
you should
does
be.
sense. I just do other like entertainment stuff like watching TV shows and stuff like that. That's why
Okay.
I've been off like playing games and stuff.
Yeah.
What, watching
Mhm.
Crunchyroll or something?
I'm not even subscribed to Crunchyroll.
Hmm.
I'm gonna leave you alone on when you said you not subscribed to Crunchyroll because I'm not even going there today because I'm gonna
Yeah,
let you
that's me.
slide on that one. I'm gonna let him slide on that one.
That's me. I
Okay.
get Crunchyroll. I be
Okay.
watching Naruto Shippuden.
Well, you do realize that you got a 2 year subscription or well 6 month subscription or 3 month subscription to Game Pass.
Oh yeah, I use that.
Oh, use that. Mine's still available. All right, let's get on these topics since we got a host
Hey,
of people
make sure you
listening.
got a
Okay.
list before you activate it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Okay. Earlier this week, as you know, all the documents got released through the Microsoft case with the FTC. And one of the documents was an email that Phil Spencer sent out describing the various companies that he would like to take over, or not take over, if they had the opportunity to buy. They would buy
Acquire.
XYZ company. Acquire, you can call it acquire, buy. You spending your money, you buying it. And spending my money, they're buying it. But Capcom was on that list. So Capcom came out and stated Capcom would gracefully decline any acquisition offer from Microsoft or anyone else. And what did y'all think about that? Do you think that if Microsoft made an offer, and listen to what I'm saying because I want to get your opinions. One, would they be able to do it? Would the FTC get engaged? Would they accept the offer? Or what do you think? Or would they choose to stay independent? Let's hit you first, OG.
I think they would entertain the offer for sure.
Isn't that their fiduciary responsibility to shareholders?
Yep, yep, I think so. Just for the fact that hey, they want to make bigger and better games too. because Capcom been doing really well lately. So I think they will entertain that. Yeah. Now,
Okay.
would
Now,
the
what
FTC
else?
approve
Now,
that?
there you go.
I don't think so. I don't think
Why?
FTC will approve it right. Not now. Not right
You
now.
don't
Because
think?
it's a little too hot right now, I would say. With the FTC going out to Amazon also right now. And this ABK deal going on too. That ain't closed. So I think Capcom would go for it though. I do.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
it was a different climate.
If it was a different climate for sure, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about that one.
What about Japan? You think the Japanese government would let that happen if it was a wholly owned subsidiary?
I don't think so.
Well,
No, no,
well,
no,
the
no.
thing was, Capcom
Hold on,
said,
hold on, hold on. I'm going to double first. Then we're going to get to you, Jazz. You're next. Then we're going to go to Surge. Then
Nah,
we're going to
man.
go to okay, because I want to get
I
everybody's
mean,
full.
Just
with
thinking
Go
out
ahead.
Capcom
loud.
saying, what they say, we gracefully decline.
Right.
That means it was thought about, and they want to be good. They still want to be good friends, so it was gracefully declined. You know, and they also said they want to be Microsoft's equal. So
You ain't it. Okay. Go ahead. Miss me on that, but go ahead.
yeah, when they said they want to be Microsoft's equal,
Hmm.
so I don't think they would take Microsoft being over them, but more of a side partner. You know,
Mm, okay.
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
I got to take a one. Okay.
Okay. Jazz. Let's go with you.
Sure.
Wait, who said they wanted to be Microsoft's equal?
That's the key word he messed up on. But
Oh,
let me go let you go
wait,
on
I
too.
missed something.
Let me go. Let's go on. That's like saying a homeless man want to be a millionaire is equal too. But we're not gonna. Go ahead.
Oh, so what's the question?
One. What did you think about it? Do you think it could be done? Do you think Capcom will accept the offer? Do you think also the FTC and the the FTC and the Japanese regulators, what would they say about
I say no and no. They tend to want to hold on to things, which I get and I respect, and I personally want them to stay their own entity because I don't want
it? Did you
Capcom's.
not hear me say uh, totally wholly owned subsidiary of Microsoft, where they will, because it's a Japanese company, they are going to be their own entity, but just owned by Microsoft, so they can keep their identity, just like Activision Blizzard's going to do.
Yeah, I got all that. I just don't see that happening, honestly.
Okay,
Like, this is ours. We got this type thing.
okay, okay. Is that all you have to say?
No, as of now, yes.
Okay, let's go to Serge. What are your thoughts?
I think Capcom wouldn't do such a thing. They like being on their own, but at the same time, they may take help, but not from somebody tied in what's going on with all the acquisition nonsense.
Okay,
I honestly think they just respectfully decline for the simple fact that it's more of a culture thing. But
it's a culture thing.
yeah, like keeping it respectful, but they wouldn't really take the offer seriously in a sense.
Okay, okay. That's your view.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Megan?
I don't see Capcom saying yes to being like a subsidiary anytime soon. They they seem really confident in being like independent like third party developer
Okay,
and yeah.
okay. Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys a statement. It really doesn't mean this, but I'm trying to give you an analogy, so to speak, almost in reference to this. You remember how people say they're a paycheck away from whatever, you that paycheck away because you only got this amount of money, and if you only had this amount of money, you'd be in poverty, whatever. So let me give you a historical perspective. In 2013, Capcom was worth $1 billion. In 2014, 800 million. In 2015, 1.36 billion. In 2016, 1.32. 17, 1.73. I'm going somewhere with this. 18, 2.15. 19, 2.97. 20, 6.93. 21, 5.0 billion. 22, 6 billion. 23, 8, 6, 7.59 billion. That's US dollars. Now, you see how fast they rose? It's because one, I'm going to say this. They weren't worth that much money until they started doing all these remakes and putting all that crap back out there. Now, when that well runs dry, they're saying that now because that market cap is nice, because they have an $8 billion market cap. Many years ago, that market cap wasn't all that, was it?
Mm-mm.
So now they got a little bit of a market cap and they can say, hey, we want to remain independent. But as you guys fairly know, as of today, Epic laid off people because their games are not doing well. Somebody else laid off people because their game's not doing well. The people who made the game Baldur's Gate 2, the remake, they're laying off people. Capcom has made a bunch of remakes, and I think that's what all these people are doing because they want to stay safe.
Hey, you got
Monster
to make
Hunter
one for me.
one, well, no, my point is they made one bad game that does not make what they think it's going to make, and the Nikkei and Wall Street gets mad at them and unimpressed with the numbers that they're bringing in. That market cap will fall tremendously, and maybe that's where this is the same scenario that happened with ATVI. Activision was still 80, $90 a share until all that crap started happening with Bobby Kotick. Then that stock dropped. Then Bobby Kotick got on the hot seat. The only reason Activision was selling is because Bobby Kotick was on the hot seat. And he called them up and said, hey, I need to get out of here. Who gonna make me the best offer? Microsoft came in. So I will always tell you guys, don't think that if the opportunity and it arises where something doesn't go right and Microsoft comes in or any company comes in and scoops them up because they'll tell you anything, and that's why they say because the who was it the CEO the COO or whoever he was CFO said we will respectfully decline, but he is not a shareholder. I mean, he's not the shareholders. That has to go to the board. If someone makes you an offer, and say for instance Capcom is worth 7 billion now, and someone says we're going to offer you 12 billion. And if they don't consider that to a hostile takeover, they say, okay, we're going to get a lot of return on our dollars. It is their responsibility to take it to the board. The board has to vote on it. The board has to say, we have to get our shareholders because that is what they're supposed to do. So do not, I hate when people, when it comes to shares, it comes to corporations, it is their responsibility. Whoever makes me the highest amount of money, or if I can sell, then we'll sell, unless they have a poison pill in place or they don't want to sell. Now, to get to your point, it is kind of hard to buy companies in Japan. But remember, the U.S. Congress, remember what Congress did say, hey, why is it so hard for Americans to do business, American companies like Microsoft to do business in Japan? That whole thing opened up an avenue because if Microsoft wants to push into Japan, I can guarantee you Japan is not going to say one word about Microsoft acquiring any Japanese company based off what we're saying now. I don't even think the FTC will say something because it's still vertical, it's not horizontal, and it's gaming. It's $5 to $10 billion. So you guys have your point of view, which I respectfully understand. But I always try to look at things in a bigger perspective. I do like the point of them staying independent. But when a game can cost two, three, 400, $500 million to make, and it's not everywhere, that can break the bank. because you have to look at liquidity. You may be worth X amount of dollars, but how much cash do you have on hand? Just because your market cap is X does not mean you have a lot of money in the bank.
Right.
So that is my thought. I thought it was interesting that he said it. He said we would respectfully decline at this point.
At this point of time.
Right. But no one can predict the future. I think it would make a lot of people upset if Microsoft tried to buy them. It would pee a lot of people off, but that's where the industry is going. It is too much. Games cost too much money to make. That's why Capcom is playing safe. How many Resident Evils have Capcom tried to remake? All of
All
them?
of them, at least three
All of them.
times. At least three times now.
But they
I
finna
know
remake the
the
first
first
one.
one had
Yeah.
been remade at least 5, 6 times.
Yep, different director's cuts and yep.
That's playing it safe. And they're going to keep that Monster Hunter formula because it works.
Hey, I say they need to go ahead and make my Power Stone. That's what I was like. All they got to do is make one game
Yeah.
for me.
My
Uh,
man. Power.
They
I
made
love
Power
Power
Stone. They
Stone.
need to remake that Power Stone, man. I'm good.
okay.
I still got that on Dreamcast.
That and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Remake Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Power Stone. Both of them.
Make a
Okay.
fully new
and
Well,
Mega Man game, but I'm
we're
I'm getting off track here.
and Code
yeah,
Veronica.
we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Yeah, Code Veronica would be nice, but we'll
Yes.
see
But
how
they
that
finna get
turns.
an
Let's look
anniversary
at
monster
let's look at
in
this
March.
and let's look at this. Let's relook at this, revisit, shall we say, in a year from now, and see where everyone's gonna be on this. Because if their games don't sell or if something doesn't go the way they want it to go, uh, it's hard, very hard for me to see this going any other way. I'm not saying they will sell. I'm not saying they won't. I just said it's hard to predict. And money talks, and he has no say in it. Any closing thoughts on that, OG? Do you see my point of view?
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Do you see my point of view?
Yeah, 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 for sure. These games cost a lot these days.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So we'll see how this turns out in the future because I definitely think anyone's for sale. And with these smaller companies under $10 billion, they're for sale because it's getting too hard to make games. So what do
Definitely.
y'all think about Horizon Forbidden West finally, the complete edition, finally coming to PC? And what the heck is a complete edition coming to the PS5? Wasn't it already released on the PS5?
Hmm.
So what do I need to buy
That's
another
what
the
they
game
said.
over again? Is that with the download content or something?
I was just about to say.
Yeah,
Because complete
for
should mean
all the
complete.
new people for the holiday season, they're gonna be buying PlayStations. That's what
Sounds
it
like a
is.
okay. Let me see. What do y'all think about that? Double, you getting it? That's for the
Uh, I was
that's
entertaining the thought.
for the PS4 and PS5, right? I think it's came out for the P. Or is that PS5 only?
Yeah, it came out PS4, PS5.
And it didn't sell
Actually,
100 million.
nope, I don't think so. I may, I don't know. I may check it out. I may check it
Okay,
out on Steam or something like that. Yeah. You know, it's all about
all
pushing
right.
this graphic card.
That's why I said I'm surprised you didn't put Starfield on
Starfield is
What
on it.
about
it. Oh, okay. I thought you said that was playing a console.
I be going back and forth sometimes.
Well, that's the option you have. Thanks,
no?
Sony.
Wolfenstein is on PlayStation as well, but the next Wolfenstein is only going to be on Xbox.
Hmm.
Nothing but.
So what do y'all think about what do you think about that surge?
What?
Horizon Forbidden West.
Uh, I just thought it was gonna be a matter of time, personally, because they've been releasing
You
all
know what
that.
the issue is?
What?
The issue is that it just takes so long to put it on PC. Don't nobody care.
Well, they
That's the
do that
that
on purpose, trying to push
well
it
they do
to
it on
all
purpose.
systems and stuff. So,
Yeah, like have it like as a PlayStation console exclusive for um a while,
Wait a minute,
then
wait a minute,
come
wait a
on
minute, wait.
PC
Hold on,
later
hold on,
on.
hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. We're not even going on. We're just gonna discuss this openly. Because do you realize what you just said?
What
Say
I
what you
just
just
said.
said again. Say what you just said again.
Okay, so what I just
Who,
said is
me?
that
You said a PlayStation console, and I'm emphasizing the word console exclusive. We already know it's a console, so you emphasize that it's not coming into any other consoles. We know that. But the point is, why is it not on PC? And I had a discussion with somebody. It's like, well, it's on console, and I'm okay with it not coming out for 2 years or a year for a PC. But as OG just stated, it loses momentum 2 or 3 years from now because everyone else is playing something else. And if you think you're going to get traction again off an old game, you're not going to get it. And if you think you're going to get someone that's on the PC who think if they game only on a PC, one game is not going to make them buy a PS5. Two games is not going to make them buy a PS5.
it's
But
gonna have to be
where
five or more for me.
you, but my point is, by putting it on a PC, they think they're hurting the PS5 because they're thinking people are going to buy the PS5 just to play that game. If that was the case, then you're hurting yourself even more because the attach rate is low because you're saying people are only buying the PS5 just to play one game. They don't buy anything else. You get what I'm saying? Because then Jim Ryan just it kind of defeats his own thought process. He said that the PlayStation community does not buy enough games, so that's why we're porting them to PC. So you already admitted that you're not going to get people to buy it, even with 100 million install base. You only selling 10%. So how that does that make sense to me? It doesn't because you should always do date and date. If you're not putting it on a competing console, how does that hurt you? That's like you telling me right now that I mainly game on an Xbox, but I do have a powerful PC and I have a PS5. So when the game comes out on Xbox, I mean for all three, 99.999% I'm buying it for Xbox. I have no want to play it on the PC. I don't like playing games on PC because I like playing games on my TV. I don't want to be in front of a monitor. I don't want to be uncomfortable. I want to sit on the couch and they say, "Oh, you can plug your PC to your TV." No, I'm not. I don't want my PC next to my TV.
I went to my one buddy house and he had a PC exclusively for that.
I don't want that. It makes too much noise.
It was a
And
quiet PC.
then he doesn't have a powerful PC because
It's just enough to play games. Not
Once them PCs start making all that noise and them graphics cards and them fans start blowing, you hear it.
That's what sounds
Do
like.
you?
Power to
Do you?
Jupiter.
Listen, wait a minute.
Mine's making a little
This
Wait
joint's
a
noise
getting
minute.
hot
too right
too.
now. It's
Yeah.
low, but it's
Look at the
there.
PS4 and the PS5 getting hot because of and they did a little bitty graphics cards compared in comparison to
They be
the
like
3080s
Jesus.
and 3070s and 4060s and 4070s and 4080s and 4090s. What do you think those are going to do? And all the extra cooling you're going to have on it. You think they're just going to be quiet? No, but when you start pushing them and you start gaming for 5 or 6 hours, you're going to hear that. And I don't want to hear that when I play my Xbox. And I don't want to be around. I don't think it looks right around my TV anyway. And I don't want a big power supply next to my TV with the battery backup.
He said, I don't want all that
I don't
That's a
want all
lot
that.
to worry
contraption around
about.
my
Yep.
TV. Yeah. Contraptions.
Okay.
So
Anybody
good
else thoughts
for
on?
you.
Anybody else thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll say a little bit more. Yeah, it's not surprising that there's going to be like a PC version,
Okay.
and
So since it's a
yeah,
PC version, do you think they're going to sell? Let's look at it on Steam. Let's go Steam numbers. Do you guys think it'll hit 100,000 the first week on Steam? Do you, OJ? I mean, Mega?
mm,
This far into the life cycle.
That's it. I
could
mean,
like a game that came out in 2021 and like 2 years
the question,
later.
the question is, do you think it'll come out and hit over 100,000 the first week? That's the question.
Not really.
And usually the first week and the second week are when your games sell the most, right? Not
Hmm.
overall through time, but that's when it really makes the biggest impact. Let's say that.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a slow sale. I
Okay.
think it'll be a slow
The
sale.
question was of G, do you think it'll hit over 100,000 first week?
Yeah, I think there's 100,000
I didn't.
people
I said,
with interest.
okay. Let me read. Let me give it to you this way.
Yeah,
I'm interested. Don't mean I'm gonna play it.
yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this way.
It doesn't mean I'm
You
here
have
for it. I can
you
hack it.
right? Do you have a Steam account? I'm sure you do. I know you do.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this again. Do you think the first week is going to garner 100,000 sales? That's only the question.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
You want to
yeah.
bet?
It'll do
You want to bet?
100,000.
You want to bet?
He get
No, we don't
quiet.
have to bet now.
Then don't.
We
Then
He get quiet. You not that sure
don't have to
then, but
bet that. I don't have faith like that.
Not just
Now this game is not coming out next week. It's coming out in January of
oh wow.
2024.
I was like, I thought it was gonna at least hit the holiday season, but
No.
January, because I was like, it might hit like 50, 75 if it hits in the holiday season. That's more like a 25, 15 to 25,000 in my mind. Because it's like how long, like I can understand some people waiting on it, but it's more, it seems like people go stumble upon it, and if it's at full price, like I think, oh my goodness. I think it's gonna hit a lot of people. It's gonna hit 100,000 on wish list. That's what people
It's
go wait
probably
for.
that now for sure.
People go wait for a sale.
So I get it later.
What about you, Jeff? What do you think?
I'll get it later, but I think it's a possibility, seeing as it was exclusive, and I'm sure there's quite a few people out there who were curious and didn't have the ability to play it. So there you go. So we'll see.
100,000 in the first week. That's what you're saying that we'll see.
I said
That's what I'm saying.
maybe. I said
I'm just
maybe.
asking. I'm clarifying the question.
That's all he's
We
doing.
asking. That's all I'm doing.
The ask. What is the ask? The ask is, do you think 100,000 people are going to play that game the first week?
No.
That's all. Okay.
Okay, that's the question. Okay.
That's the question. Because I sure as heck don't.
Possible,
I mean,
but
these
Not.
guys
highly
with these
unlikely. Let me be an 8 ball.
4090s, these guys with these 4090s is going to want to push their PC. So I think it's going to be an enthusiast game just for the
Okay.
graphics.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Can I ask you a question?
yeah.
What's the most popular GPU on the Steam charts?
It's probably a 3050 now.
Well,
Well,
I thought it
2070.
was a 2070 or a 2070 2060. Now we're at the
Yeah,
4090s. You're
it's probably
talking
a
about
2070.
so
Things are sleek.
2070 came out in 2006,
2019,
2018,
something like that.
2018. So that's about a 5 to 6 year old GPU, and that's the most
Yeah,
popular. And I know you got all these people saying, "Oh, 4090, 4090." If 10 to 20,000 people that place on Steam have 2090s, I would be surprised in the US.
in the US.
Because you realize the 2090 is what, a 15,000 to really $2,000 graphics card.
Then it
So
came
that's
down some. Now, get me curious about it. Because they got the 5,000 series coming.
that's 2024, 2025.
And he already better buy a new TV after I found out what I found out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, GPU price.
Yeah. I see it as low as
I
1,600 right now.
I see 1600
Yeah.
and 19 for the RTX 4090 24 gig is 1969. Okay, that's $2,000 just to play a
Mhm.
79. You lost your mind. I don't think it's gonna hit 100,000, but I digress because I'm putting it out there. I don't think so the first week. My whole point is that they wait too long to put the games out. So many other games come out and you don't get to it. So let me give you another way of looking at it. So many games come out. I bought Elden Ring last year when it was on sale, and I still have not gotten to that game because so many things come out. And I still have not beaten Resident Evil 3 remake. I'm playing
Me
that
too.
and I'm like,
I still gotta
and
finish
I'm
the
like,
4
I
remake.
know when you bought it.
I was streaming that.
yeah, but it's like so much come out. And
Hmm.
it's just so much is out there, you don't even get to play everything because you have so much.
Well, and also it's summertime. When winter
Hmm.
hits, that'll be a
Yeah,
little bit different.
we were touching grass.
Because in the
Okay.
summer, especially with you, because you like being outside and enjoying the summer. So
Yeah. Okay, we'll see how that comes. We're going to mark it down that OG said yes, Jazz in the middle, and
Mostly
Mega,
no.
Mega, Mega followed his dad. So
I
those
said
two,
no with
I'm a, let me
way
put it
lower
yes.
numbers than.
I tried to make it. I tried to make it a tie with Jazz being in the middle because I
Nah, cause he
unequivocally
asked me,
said
I flat
no.
out said no.
Way low.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
so let's get to this other funny topic. So we'll see. OG, mark that down in your books to see what's going to happen because you were adamantly thinking
Grab
that,
a little pencil.
right? So Hayden Lena Khan decided to say, you know what? Even though I lost in federal court, I lost technically two times. I'm going to take them back to court, administer to their own administrative judge to block the Microsoft ABK deal. What do y'all think about that? And she filed a suit against Amazon, which she's taken on too much. So to me, it's showing, just a side note before we talk about that, that all she's doing is going after big tech. Now, I'm not saying I haven't read the Amazon
How can you vow something like that
FTC.
and you're supposed to be
I,
bipartisan?
I can't say anything about the Amazon case yet because I don't know all the facts. I'm not saying she's valid for what she's doing. I'm just saying the optics of it is that everything big tech she's going after, and she said she was going to do it, and she wrote a paper. Just because you wrote a paper on Amazon does not make you the authority and know the law.
Mm-hmm.
She never practiced
Opinion.
law, right? So, um, Jazz, what do you think about that? She's going back into administrative court. That's the FTC's internal court to say, hey, let's block this.
Mm, I don't know.
Jazz, what do you think?
I'm just waiting for the whole ordeal to be over.
No, 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 no. Because here's the funny thing. Short cliff notes. If the CMA comes back next week and says, okay, we have no problem, which is supposed to be the sixth between the sixth and the eighth. Eighth, I mean next Friday, I think they're supposed to announce. If they don't, I still think something's up. But if they don't announce anything, Microsoft is going to close that next week. then the FTC is still going to take them to court. They can't block it. So that's why they want to take them internally to the administrative courts, their internal court, their internal bias court, to take it to a judge inside the FTC that says this is wrong. That is what I find to be the craziest thing that she's doing. She lost in federal court because she went to judge the judge. Remember that whole week of trials back in June, and she lost. And the rest of the regulators outside of the CMA allowed the deal. They signed a deal with Sony. They already signed a deal to put all the cloud service gaming, gave that to Ubisoft, right? So where is the anti-competitive bull? But they say they have additional info. Where is the info? So with the FTC doing that, what are your thoughts on that? You said you're ready for it to be over.
Yeah, I mean it seems like it's a lot of back and forth. I'm like, really? Like, what's the final verdict?
Feel like that
I'm at
because
that point.
I thought at one
Huh?
point it was going smoothly. Now this.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, you know what? And I don't want to say I'm not interested. I'm just like, okay, can we, like, what's up? Like, I kind of stopped looking into
Now,
it.
I think what I want to make sure we understand, she can't stop the deal. If the deal
Yeah, she
closes
can
the
just
week
raise
after next,
concerns and whatnot.
Yeah, she
she
can't stop
can
it.
she
She
can't
can't
stop
stop
it. All she can do is go to court to say, oh,
Mm.
within a year, next year or 2 years from now, when the court goes back and forth, she can say, hey, we want to try and break them up, which is going to be extremely hard to do.
it. It won't happen.
So my point is, do you think this is? I think she's trying to make a name for herself, and she's wasting time.
Shoot, she already
Anybody else
made a
have those
name for
thoughts?
herself.
Well, I can tell you what, she's wasting my tax dollars. That's what I can tell you she's doing.
That too.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Don't nobody like
wasting
that.
it.
Nope. I
Nobody
think
like the
we all
tax
can
dollars
agree on
waste.
that point.
That's my hard-earned money that y'all took, and y'all
Keep the
wasted it
good
in such a
jibs.
way. You-
You guys pay your taxes. Oh,
Wait, all right. You go. You wait till you get your tax dollar taken
Well,
out.
yeah, he
Just
who
you
does not
wait.
wait a minute, he who does not have to pay taxes, we don't even need your point of view until
I
you
had a
pay
feeling you was
taxes.
going to say something like
You knew I was gonna
that.
say when you start paying taxes and you start paying a considerable amount of taxes, then I will understand where you're coming from. But I'm sorry, at this point in time, we can't go with that. I'm sorry. So, anybody else have OG? What are your thoughts?
You know what? She know this thing is about to close, and I think for some reason she's just trying to save face some kind of way because
Yeah.
it's just a waste now. The deal is done. It's over with. The CMA approved it. It's
The CMA
like you said, just wasting
tentatively,
taxpayer dollars.
the
And
CMA
then you got the
tentatively,
Amazon thing going on.
the CMA tentatively approved it, which I kind of I still don't trust them, and I think she did that to try to put pressure on the CMA, but they tentatively approved it. Now they're waiting for the letters to everybody give additional objections. Then you heard there's a rumor going around that in France, the NVIDIA was raided by the French government over some anti-competitive acts over their GPU service. And then I think somehow, some way, somebody tried to link that to the Microsoft deal. Then there's somebody else saying, well, the EU is going to come back and ask for additional remedies or something because of what the CMA asked for. All this stuff is just so petty. And that's why I keep saying that it seems very strange to me that all these hiccups are coming when you're trying to close a deal that's so much for so much money that it's all about stopping US big tech. I don't care what anybody say, I'm not gonna ever stop believing that. But we'll see if this happens. But in my personal opinion, I think she put that in because one, technically, and this is impactful for a lot of people, that I think she, to some extent, she wanted to get that letter out this week because just in case the federal government shuts down this week, on Saturday night going into Sunday, right?
Yep.
On so a lot of
They got
people
to
will be
pass
out,
some tomorrow.
right? So she wanted to get all that out, have it in the docket, have all that stuff moving along, and we may not know how long the government's going to be shut down. It's going to impact a lot of
No.
people.
Yep. Because they
It's going to
do
hurt a lot.
not sound like they're
It's
trying to make a
right.
good deal.
And so I, to some extent, think that she got all that done this week to get ahead of it. So whenever it is, however long it takes, at least she's got it filed. Because it was funny that she filed it this week and going on what's going on with this with the government and shutdowns. I'm not going to talk about the shutdown, and I know it's impactful for a lot of people, but that's what I think. Anybody else have any additional thoughts?
Nope. Not here.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm tired of Lena.
Well, since Jim Ryan is booted out, we're gonna get to that. That's the last subject real quick. But since Jim Ryan was booted out, uh, maybe she can take that job since she want to help Sony so much.
Help wanted.
it's open. The position is open.
So let's get to the last two topics. Earlier this week, Sony was breached. You guys heard about that? And I want you to pull that up, Jazz, so the people can see it.
Boop. There it is.
And the topic says Sony on hacking claims. We are investigating the situation. Everyone went like, okay, why didn't they tell us if they were hacked or not? Give me your guys' thoughts on that. I want you guys to give me your thoughts, and we're going to start with you, Double. But I want you to give me your thoughts on it. One, what should Sony response, in your opinion, should have been? They were hacked. Do you have your personal information, meaning credit cards, stored on Sony's website or on, in the Sony store? Do you buy things regularly off of there? Or are you worried about your PII, personal identifiable information, in the Sony store? Now, Sony does have two-factor authentication set up when you buy things, and they said Sony. They didn't say PlayStation brand. They just said they stole all of Sony's data, right? So, give me your thoughts on that, real quick. Not real quick, but I want your thoughts on the breach. Everyone's saying, "Oh, it's the second time it happened." Blah 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 blah. Why didn't Sony say anything? They're being quiet, and it took them a day to say something. I think it came out Monday or Tuesday. They said something Wednesday. No, they said something. Yeah, am I right about that?
Yeah,
OG.
it was 2 days ago.
Okay, give me your thoughts.
I think it was a Monday. It's the same old song, man. Just like in 2011.
Same old song.
Oh, hold on, Serge. Let me get this point out. Go ahead. What do you think? I'm trying to understand your point because I think I want to hear you saying it's the same tune, same song, same situation.
Same situation. They got hacked.
You believe that?
They, yeah, I believe they got hacked for sure.
Oh, why do you believe they got hacked? Why? Just tell me why. I'm not doubting or anything. I just want to. How do you know?
How do I know?
Yes, sir. How do you know?
I just know they did.
No. I'm not going to. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I'm just going to ask you, how do you know? Oh, they. I'm not going to give you the clues, but I'm asking you, how do you know?
From my standpoint, I mean, they always been attacked. Microsoft has always been attacked. It's constantly
Okay.
happening.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. If you ever looked at a router and a router and see how many people are attacking routers every day,
Uh-huh.
You'll be amazed. Just trust me.
Mhm.
If you ever looked at people trying to attack routers on your devices every day, you'll be amazed. But if you ever go inside Microsoft accounts and you'll see people, and if you can do it on any of your accounts, but if you have a Microsoft account, go inside your Microsoft account, and when you sign into your devices, they got a homepage, and they'll show your
Right.
email address. They'll show somebody trying to get into your email address. They block it all because
Constantly.
they see it coming, but it's always somebody trying to breach it. So I'm trying to get you to give me your basic understanding of how did you know? And I don't want to take that much time with you, but I'm just trying to get everybody's opinion. How how did you know?
I'm just saying this is a part of life now as far as hacking. So because it's happening day to day. It's happening to regular people.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay, no fun. What about you, Jazz?
Oh, I'm not surprised. I mean, it has happened before. Um, am I surprised that they didn't announce
So
it?
what you're saying is lightning shouldn't strike twice at the same spot, right?
Somewhat, but it's doesn't mean it's not going to happen, especially with a big company.
Okay. What else?
The key word was that you expect it to happen. You know?
Sadly, yeah, like I'm
Okay.
not surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have your credit card information on there or your debit card?
Not I.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Uh, what about you, Serge?
I don't think PlayStation is really trustworthy with people's information because this is the first time that this has happened. It was like they kind of lackluster with their security sometimes. I'm just gonna
Okay.
be you. And their
Okay.
customer service isn't customer friendly.
Okay. Uh, let me ask, Mega, what about you? Are you using your dad's credit card information on there?
Yep. Nope.
Okay.
The stuff I put in there is just like it's just gift cards that are like almost empty. So
Okay. Perfect. Now,
Right. We only use
now,
gift cards.
okay. Let me just give you guys some information. When this was announced on Monday, it took Sony some time to make a statement because it happened Monday, right? And I think they said something Tuesday, correct?
Right.
When they didn't respond immediately, you knew they were breached. When they said they're investigating, they knew they were breached. Here's the problem where I think people don't understand. Everyone's saying, well, my this, my that, my this, my that. That credit card information from a security standpoint has to be PCI compliant. Okay.
Right.
And if it's PCI compliance, let me just give you a background real quick. That means any type of credit card you swipe, whatever the data is stored. The data is wherever it's stored. It's PCI compliant. It's either going to be 256, which is the weakest, 512, 1024, 248-bit encryption. That data is encrypted. They have to encrypt that by law. Now, if someone breaches Sony's system and can get super user access where they can decrypt that data, then they can have it. But just because you breach somebody's systems and download the data, it's useless to some extent. That's why they say, and everyone said, well, they're not saying anything. They have the right. And people don't, here's the thing, you got 3 or 4 different agencies that they have to follow. You have PCI compliance, right? You got PII, you got GBLA, which is Graham Leach Bailey, I think. That's for financial institutions. People, I heard people in there talking about HIPAA. HIPAA is medical. That has nothing to do with this. But HIPAA follows the same guidelines when it comes to PII. But they have to have their forensics team come in and do a analysis. They have to have the incident response team come in and do an analysis. No one's going to come out there and say anything. Their responsibility is to say who been breached. And then people are saying, well, they have to. The United States as a whole does not have a breach law. where it's saying if a company is breached, they have the various regulations in place, GBLA, HIPAA, and they have to follow those guidelines. Each state has their own breach notification policy, but it's just not, the United States doesn't have a federal breach notification policy. I mean, not Great Britain, the EU has one with what you call it. But my point is, people are jumping the gun trying to say what's happened. They don't even know what's happened. The forensics team does not know how deep this is yet, and what data that they have. And I heard people saying, well, maybe they should have paid the ransom. Let me ask you a question. If I paid a ransom
Okay.
and you stole the data from me, but you said to me, you stole my data, but if you pay me, I'm gonna give you your data back. But if you stole it from me, what makes you think I'm gonna believe that you still have a copy of it?
Hmm.
Or am I supposed to believe you're gonna delete it because you're gonna be the good guy now? I think some oftentimes people do not understand how this works. And you can call it you don't negotiate with terrorists. I'm using that saying as you don't negotiate with a hacker. Why would you? But in the sense of data, they all have to be compliant. And the only reason and where Sony is going to get in trouble, people are saying this is always, you don't know where and how this breach happened. You don't know if it was a user who went to a site or something happened. You don't know if it was a third party or one of their vendors that had access. You don't know how this happened. You don't know any of this. So all people are saying is, well, Sony needs to admit XYZ. How are you going to admit something when the forensics team and the security incident response team has not gotten and given a full report? That's going to take time. And as long as Sony had the proper security controls in place, there is nothing anyone can really say because everyone is suspected to get breached. Now they can have the policies together. They can come back, and if you were impacted, they can send you credit, protection, where they can protect your credit file. They'll give you credit monitoring service. That is what they can do. They have insurance to protect them against that. But when people say, "Well, Sony had this, Sony had that," well, to be honest with you, you, the consumer, will never know what happened. Because why would I tell you how I was breached? Does that make sense to you guys? That I'm going to sit up here and tell you how I was breached? Now, if somebody gets fired, I don't know if you guys remember the Wells Fargo breach, or was it no? It was the Equifax breach, and the head of the Equifax cyber security CISO was fired, rightfully so. But if you have a breach and you are following all the compliance laws and you're doing, and the data on this system has been is secured, and you developed the program APIs, and you did a varicode scan on the internal software, and all the risk, you mitigated every risk that came up through your program. If you follow all your guidelines and compliance, and they did a PCI, they did a penetration test every year to say, hey, we are required to do a penetration test to see this show that no one can get in our system. We did a vulnerability assessment on the inside to make sure no one can get in our systems. Okay, they followed the guidelines. You cannot say for 100%, and anyone that is in cybersecurity will do an assessment, do a pen test, and say, at this point in time, this is the only thing that we can say. At this point in time, you're safe. Doesn't mean tomorrow you're going to be safe. You may do an
You think
update to a program. Excuse
you
me.
think they doing that test every year?
You are required to do you should do a pen test at least once a year or twice a year. Most companies do them once a year, twice a year. But if you do, okay, let's look at it this way. Let me tell you another way of doing it. When you develop software program, and not this is not even the aspect of video games. Let's just say internal software programs, applications. Let me call them soft application programs you develop, and you have to run a vulnerability assessment on those applications. There are going to be 1,000 risks that you must mitigate and say, okay, we see this vulnerability. You got to fix it. You got to see. You got to fix this. You got to fix this. You got to fix that. And you have to fix that before it can be put into production. But what if some other system that requires a patch screwed up that and you didn't catch it? That's why all this has to be done over and over again. So I am remiss to say that I'm not going to blame them until we're never going to know. But you don't know if it was one of their vendors who didn't have their controls in place that had access to their systems and allowed them to do it, because it could always be downstream where one of your vendors you do business with has access to your system. What if it was Nix's, who was a smaller company? And I'm saying this not to blame them. So I'm not saying, I'm just giving you a smaller company they brought into the fold, right? What if they brought them in the fold and started bringing their systems in and giving them access? And all the systems weren't tested, or they didn't get around to testing. There are 1,000 different things that could have happened at this point in time to screw them over. We don't know. You don't know how breach happened. Somebody got the data. It could have been probably could have been a very sophisticated attack. Actually, it could have been actually a simple email attack. You don't know. But for people
Yeah.
to come out saying my personal information, first and foremost, when you're talking about your personal information probably already out there on the dark web. But you should never put your. I heard people saying, "Oh, my debit card." I'll tell you right now, never use your debit card anywhere outside of your bank. I don't use my debit card anywhere but outside in my bank. That's it. I don't use it. Credit card, I can care less, because guess what? Your credit card companies, once they see that charge, you call them, done, it's over with. And people out here saying, well, my credit card's up there. Guess what? If you feel that nervous that you have been breached and that you have put your credit card or debit card and it may be impacted because of Sony breach, call your credit card company right now or go to your credit card or bank tomorrow and get a new card. Done. But as far as Sony being held liable, they're only going to be held liable if they did not follow some kind of compliance and they didn't have the proper controls in place. They are liable if they didn't do anything. One of the companies, Rackspace, heavily. What does Rackspace do? They host email services, right?
Yeah, rack space.
Right. You know they were breached in December of 2023 or 2022. Email was down for 6 months. No, 2 to 3 months. Anybody using Rackspace could not, they had to get a different, because they didn't have the proper controls in place to have Outlook Exchange service. They had to switch everyone over. So on us to a different type of email service, to regular online, but web based. Let me say web based. My point to you is a lot of people do not understand that they probably, if it's the credit card, that stuff has to be encrypted. So PCI compliance. Even if you do that, they have to have the firewalls. All that has to be checked. And then you have to have someone that is technically, when it comes to PCI compliance, they are supposed to send, it's a different certification you need to be uh, payment card information. Payment card, that's PCI. You have to get certified by them. That's a totally different certification.
Is that
That's what I was going to
SSL or
go for.
something?
No, that's secure socket layer. Don't
Mm.
no, that's
Oh,
everyone does
that's
that.
okay.
That's SSL. But when it comes to all this about the breach, we don't know enough. And I'm coming from that. I'm not gonna go in on Sony unless I can see a report myself and say they were negligible. And if you can't prove that they were negligible, because I know that even myself, um, it was a company that I got an email from. They were breached, and it was from a not a stock market account. It was a investment account firm that does the sub investing, but it was one of the investment firms, and they said they sent a letter. We may have been breached. We don't know. We were breached, but we don't know if your personal information was out there. But we think it was. But as a result, we have to give you credit monitor. That's all they can do. If they People can only file a lawsuit if they're negligent. So people saying this, that, and the other, take a minute, chill, and understand. You do not know how many other companies were breached. You do not know how many people your personal information is already out there. All I can say is you take the responsibility upon yourself and start protecting yourself first. Don't depend on anybody else to protect you. Make sense? But right now, Sony was breached. My opinion is they were breached. To what depth that they were breached and who did it and how it happened, we may know. But did it hit the games division? It said all of Sony. I can't believe it's all of Sony unless they're talking about terabits of terabits of terabits of data. Did they hit the movie division? Movies are all digital now anyway, so did they take some of the movies that's coming out that's stored on servers? Movies
You
can be
see,
you and
You know,
all those all those servers, all of those servers that has anything on it should already be encrypted. And just like you guys have personal PCs. What is that the Microsoft uses? I get forget. Double, you know it, to encrypt your hard drive automatically, except you can open it.
you mean bit
But yeah, what
bit
is it called?
encryption?
Yeah, I forget what it's called. Shame on me. But
Yeah.
yeah, encryption. So if your laptop gets stolen and somebody can break the password or whatever, if you have that encryption on, they can't get it because you already should have a strong password. But if you can't get it, they can do whatever they want. If you have Microsoft encryption on there, it's going to take some time for someone to break that. And people saying, well, it's encrypted. That's why I said usually banks should be using right now 1024-bit encryption. They should be using 2048-bit encryption, the hardest one out there. Then they should be going to 5012-bit encryption. That's what I would be using because those is what it takes a supercomputer to use to try to break the encryption, but a regular person and hackers are not gonna be able to break that. That's why I said even if they took the data, it was encrypted. Then they encrypted the data and said you can't have it. Then you can't, but they can't get it either. It's useless data, just ones and zeros that they can't get because they don't have a key to break the encryption. Get my point?
Mhm.
So we all made a big. To me, everyone made a big hoopla over it. Yeah, it's bad news, but you don't know who was. They just said Sony, and everyone just went ballistic. I'll say wait and see because we don't know. But if you get a letter in the mail and a breach notification, then it's something. Because yes, they're not only your credit card data, but they have your personal information, where you live, if you bought something, where you send it to. Yeah, they have all that. So that is something that they could find on you. They have to notify you. Date of birth, all that's personal identifiable information. So yes, that's something to be concerned about. But again, I'll have to talk to some other friends of mine and see what they can find out. And if I have an update, then I can find out more from a security level. But I'm sure one of the security magazines that I subscribe to will be pulling this out and telling us more of the data. And I'll keep you guys abreast. So, anybody else have any
Yeah,
questions on that
yeah,
thought?
um,
it's
So,
bit
does
encryption.
so when I
I was
explain it
like,
that way, does it sound a little different?
yeah, it's bit. Yep,
Serge, what are your
different.
thoughts?
Mm, Nothing really, just
We just waiting. I
I
just
have to
think
say,
people.
well,
no,
I
because
just
I
don't.
don't really trust Sony like that with like because it's like it's an inevitability. Like they can't protect everybody all the time. Like just like all these other companies. Like I don't put my credit card in any of these companies, but it's
Have you ever
inevitability.
used? But my point is, have you ever? Do you use a credit card anywhere?
No, I don't have a credit card.
Then you can't use it. Then
No, I have a
can
debit
you?
card, but I could, and I got a PayPal. I could do it that way, but I
Okay,
always get gift
okay,
cards.
okay, okay. What I'm saying is, even if you use a debit card as a credit card, it's still being. They all fall under that Visa, Mastercard logo. So that means they have to follow PCI. All of them belong to PCI compliant.
Yeah,
So
but I
my
don't
point
put
I'm
any of
making,
that stuff in.
okay, let me
It's
say
like
it
gift
this.
cards and stuff.
I understand it, but you have one. So even
Right.
if you're, my whole point I'm trying to make to you, even if your bank or whomever it was breached, the data that's there has to be, because it's PCI compliance, even at the bank. All that information has to be encrypted so they can get to any data they want. If you can't decrypt something that's been encrypted, it's useless data. That's all I'm saying.
You're just
So
saying that.
people blaming Sony. Yes, I blame Sony because they got breached. But if they have the proper controls in place, technically, whatever they got could be practically useless if everything. A lot of that stuff is encrypted. That's all I'm saying.
I got you.
Okay. Oh yeah,
It's just
that's
like
all.
when you
Yeah.
get data and you can't use it because it's just like you don't have all the information. So
hmm All right. So let's get to this other topic. So I just wanted to get you guys' point of views on this whole thing where the whole internet went, well, gamers went crazy. Oh, my personal information, yada yada yada. I'm just looking at them like, okay, yeah, they were. Okay, so let's get to this good final topic. And your boy, I'm gonna take something someone else call him, lying, crying, dance move. Jim Ryan was fired. I ain't gonna say fired. That's the wrong word to use. He was
retired. It
he
rhymes.
retired. He retired from PlayStation after 30 years of working with Sony. And do you think, one, he retires effective immediately, which I find funny, effective immediately as of October 1st, he's out of that position, and then he's leaving 2024. What, April 2024,
March.
March 2024?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think he was fired? Do you think the ABK deal had something to do with it? Do you think his lying to the regulators had something to do with it? Or lying to the stockholders had something to do with it? Because he either lied on one or the other. So, and how do you think PlayStation will be impacted with him leaving? OG.
Well, personally, I think they'd be fine because it's PlayStation. They're gonna sell their sales as usual. They still the pretty girl on the block that everybody like. They'll be fine. But he has made a lot of missteps the past
Give me
couple of
what is this?
years.
What is this? Yeah, give me some give me its missteps.
Charging overpricing for that PlayStation Plus. This VR thing, what is it costs more than the PlayStation itself, than the
What about no?
PS5 VR.
What about constant remakes?
The constant remakes. It was one more. Oh, that Portal, that machine, it's useless.
Oh,
It's
you talking
useless.
about the Wi-Fi gaming device you can't take out the house?
Yes,
I'm
it's
gonna be funny.
useless.
I'm gonna be funny with this. The one service that he can take in the toilet and play games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can play Game Pass
Mhm.
on my tablet.
Okay.
It's crazy.
At
So,
work.
what do you think OG took him down? Was it a culmination of all that?
Yeah, I think it was. I think he was on a wing and a prayer with the ABK deal for not taking the ABK deal that was offered. I think that's what really sunk him. Microsoft put the 10 years up there and he didn't take it. He said, no, I would just want to sink you all. So, hey, I
You know,
think
he
that
said, he said, the pettiness is that he
yeah,
said, I don't want anything. I just want to block the deal.
I just want to block your merger.
Hmm
Whoa.
Man,
I
I
think that's what really
I was
did it.
just about to mention that.
Yeah, that was the last straw.
That was the last straw.
Yeah, that was the last straw right there.
What about you,
No.
sir? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You go ahead, sir.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me ask you this. I'm sorry. Who do you think would be the person they're gonna put back in charge? Do you think it's going to be an American? Not Americans. Americans never been in charge. Was Sean Layden American?
I think it was from Europe. I think it was
I thought
another.
he was too. British
Yeah,
guy. I thought he was British. Okay,
yeah, he
so
was
Sean Layden.
another European.
Okay, who do you think will be? Since it's Sony, do you think? Because really, Sony has had a lot of British people running Sony Entertainment and Sony Corporation as of late. Because there was some guy back in the early 2000s, that was running Sony, and he was a Brit. Do you think they're going to give it to the guy who's there, or give it to another Asian person? Let me say Asian, not just to be of keep it as a Japanese person or a person from Japan. Let's put it that way to run Sony America. I mean Sony.
I think they probably hire from
Sony,
within.
we're talking about like Sony Interactive Entertainment, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
Somebody's talking about that guy who he's a Brit too. What's that guy name? Some
Who's
a
that?
guy. Law. No, never mind. I forgot his name, and I'm not even gonna bring it up. I forgot this gentleman's name. What about you, Serge? What do you think?
About time. He been need to retire. 'Cause we need somebody that got some fresh ideas. Sony's been playing the same game, the long game of exclusives, but they need some innovation. I mean, especially with like they're trying to stay so in tight. I mean, look at Apple. What Apple did, for example, they tried to
Okay.
keep they proprietary cords, but now they joined in the fray of the chorus, not because they were forced, but at the same
Thank you.
time,
I'm glad you said that because I was just
but at the same time, because
yeah,
it's something that need to happen, you need to be more other people per
open.
se. Yeah, open. Even he said thank you.
Apple. And there's something I'm gonna have to bring up Apple in a minute, but go ahead. What else?
That's pretty much
All
what I'm
right.
saying. Because it's like no new fresh ideas. He's been in charge for long enough. We needed to have some kind of change from Sony in the gaming department, and this is a good move in my opinion.
Okay. Mega.
Um, yeah, just like the little comment I made like a few minutes earlier. I think ABK is like one of the biggest factors of it. Like he was acting petty, then like the people at Sony was like, okay, we need to get you out now. That's gonna look bad for us, you know. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Anything else? All right, Jazz. What about you?
Um, I don't know. Mainly, I do agree it would be a nice change of pace, like a new slate, a new direction. And I do agree. I can see them putting in another Japanese person in, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you guys this. I'm gonna get to ABK last, so please remember to bring that up for me. Sean, I mean, he closed all the Japanese studios. Do you remember that? Do you think that played a role?
Yeah,
He
definitely.
played.
Possibly.
He closed.
Yeah, he
He
redid
closed.
like the
No,
Japan
redid,
studio.
but
Yeah.
he closed all the Sony Japanese studios and kept one.
Yep.
And they
You
were like,
remember
Yeah,
that?
why?
that's pretty much what happened. Yeah, I remember.
Okay. He told Fidelity Investments uh, he wasn't worried about it, right? Before the deal, he told Fidelity Investment, the analysts, we're not worried about that deal because Microsoft would be crazy or foolish to not keep PlayStation, Call of Duty on PlayStation. Then he turns around and tells the courts Sony can't survive without Call of Duty. will go down. So he
Yeah.
lied to
Okay.
one
Which
reason.
is
That's lying.
Yep.
And showing weakness through a lie, not only lying but showing
Well,
weakness.
you can't lie. Either you lying to somebody, you lied in the courts, or you lying to your investors. And yes, I don't think you can be an executive and lie on investors to investors. But that was petty. I think also he brought too much attention, like a lot of people were saying, to the gaming industry where it shouldn't have been.
Mm-hmm.
Regulators, if they would have just accepted what Microsoft gave them, and he wasn't trying to block the deal, he brought all this additional attention just to the gaming industry, where regulators weren't even paying gaming any attention.
Yep.
Not to
Now,
this
and
all,
look
extent,
what you
nowhere
did.
near this extent.
All of a sudden, it took center stage out of everything that was going on.
and here goes ABK. Now, with the ABK, I don't know if people seen what Phil said. Everybody said, okay. To me, when Phil said his goodbye, it was like, yeah, okay, you did this, goodbye. I think you can tell to me, usually Phil Spencer gives a very good, eloquent response to whoever is the leader anywhere. They were great. We were good rivals, but we had a great relationship with one another. We're XYZ. He didn't have any relationship with people. And I think he, too much of finance and not understanding the gaming market, he understood finance. And people are saying, well, they're at 50 million consoles. I don't care about 50 million consoles because they're not Apple. And tell me what I mean by that. Can anybody tell me what I mean by
Wait, what was that? Say it again.
that? They're talking about 50 million. To date, they've only sold what, 42 million consoles?
So like, I know they ain't hit no 50
Including the
mil, but yeah.
scalpers.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
you can cool whatever you want to do. Let's play this game. And they're like, oh, we're at 42 million consoles. And I said, they're not Apple. And I mean something by that. 42 million does sound like a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're a manufacturing company, right? They manufacture
Yes.
consoles, right? Apple's a
Ye-
manufacturing company, a hardware company, not say manufacturing, wrong word, hardware company, right?
Yes.
And none of you guys figured out where I'm going with this. So people are talking about, well, we sell 40 million. Jim Ryan came out and said, well, our attach rate, meaning people who buy these PlayStations, 42 million consoles sold, they make money, right? Off of not the console. I'm giving y'all hints, but they make money off of the what? Software. And there's no new software out there and the attach rate for the software. That's why earlier I said PCs and you need to go elsewhere and try to make that money up real quick. And I said they're not Apple. What did I mean by they're not Apple? OG, real quick, because I don't want to ask everybody. I just want to see if anybody know what I mean by that.
I'm stumped.
I think I know
Okay.
what you're. Well,
The
no.
first
Give
thought
me
I
what
had in my mind is that this iPhone like almost every year, like a
no,
new
that's not
one.
what I mean. Right. But you can play that, but that's not what I mean because a lot of people said, okay, PlayStation's going to get to the point where they can sell to Apple. That's never going to happen. But I'll tell you that in a minute why it's not going to happen. But what I meant by that is the margin. The margin. A PC, I mean, PlayStation may cost, let's just give it a $399 to manufacture. They'll sell it for 325, right? Then if you sell in the store get a little percentage of that, right? So on each PlayStation, and you have to take out the research and development costs and blah 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 blah. So you're getting $10 profit off 42 million consoles in X amount of years, right? In 3 years since it's been out, right? Apple can manufacture the iPhone 14X, 15 for $250 and sell it for 1,200. They can sell that hardware for for double what they're making it for. So they are hardware manufacturers that's making a profit like crazy off the phone. They're not making the same margin off the console. So to me, when people think that 42 million means something, it would only mean something if that 42 million or the PlayStation was manufactured at 399 and they sold it for 899 and sold 40 million because their profit would show that big profit margin like an Apple iPhone would. So when people say that, yeah, they're doing that, but guess what? They're making a profit off of that big time. Game consoles, they're not making that profit, so you can sell as many as you want. But if you're not getting the people to buy the games, what do you have? A piece of hardware that's collecting dust if I only play one or two games. And
I
so
mean, a piece of
now,
hardware that's nice in your living room.
yeah, they say, well,
A piece of hardware that looks nice in your living room.
You can point and
yeah.
say, "Yeah, I got that."
Well,
Ugh.
now then the other part was, oh, then Sony maybe sell the PlayStation division to Apple. No, they're not. Apple's not going to buy them. Apple's not going to pay that much money. The Apple's never paid over $5 billion for any company, so they're not going to do it. Two, the regulators would never let it happen. You thought Microsoft got into issues with this. The FTC, the EU, the CMA, China, all of them would say it's not happening. And then you wouldn't be able to afford it because Apple's not selling you anything at cost. Apple has to put an Apple tax on everything they do. So if Apple brought out a console, it's going to cost you $900. Now, if you don't believe me, hold on. If you don't believe me, how much does that Apple VR cost?
They get 3,200.
32 or what, almost $4,000, right? So you tell me Apple's gonna bring out a console.
A $500 console. Nah.
Not happening. Not happening. Apple is not bringing out anything that they can't sell at a huge profit margin. So this whole console space thinking that Apple's going to engage in that, Apple's fine where they are, especially when this goes back in the game. How much do you think Resident Evil is going to cost on the iPhone?
Shoot, I say probably $50.
Okay.
I don't know.
Double. Give me now.
That's
The
tough.
game's been released on
So
console.
what you
Is it
said, the
gonna
cost of the
wait? Real
game?
quick,
Uh,
real quick.
yeah.
Is it going to look semi as beautiful, or is it gonna be like a Switch Mortal Kombat type situation?
No,
Because
it looks from what they showed, it looks very good. It looks
okay,
It
good,
looked
so I'll
but
like
say
it.
maybe
but but
30, 50. I
but
don't know.
but that iPhone is getting very hot. And when you start playing video games on a phone,
True.
there's no way I would play it. And then what happens when your phone rings? But I didn't even
Yep.
go there. You put it in silent mode, whatever. But my point I want to make to you guys, if
It's a video
uh
out there, Jazz, if you want to see it.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna check
it's a
that
video
out.
out there.
Dude
But
sitting on his
but
couch.
but did you see look at the fan he got on the back of it? Because I think
Yeah,
he got
that
some type
thing
of
was
cooler.
huge. That looked like a
We
freaking graphics
cool.
card fan on that
Right,
bad boy.
but it
Ooh,
was
that
a
sounds a
cooler,
little too
right?
much.
Yeah.
So tell me why would I do that to my phone? Playing a video game on the phone, but I have to put a cooler on. Then I'm gonna stick with
I
my
know who
my
to
ex.
find.
Might as well get the console.
But here's the thing that I think that's funny. That game is gonna cost $69.
That's what I thought. I was like $70 since Apple.
$80.
$70.
I think it's
$70 off the app store.
mm-hmm. Why would I buy it? Please tell me why would I buy it?
Because I'm an Apple person and I don't want to get a console, so
But
I
here's
wait
the
till
I,
Apple
yeah, but that
make it.
goes back to the whole thing that
Be right
the
back.
the reason why I think there's a lot of reasons why he got released. I think he got released because also he's not he has to reach a milestone in Sony because that's why I think he's leaving in April or March. for some type of pension or whatever he's going to get to be there for X amount of years as a milestone to make sure he get all his money. But as far as him getting out, I think he has screwed up. Not really. I'm not going to say screwed up. I don't. I just don't think the PlayStation Japan is appreciative of what he did. Plus, he spent $3 billion on Bungie. And if Microsoft didn't spend $3 billion, because Microsoft made him an offer, and I don't think Microsoft was going to agree to their demands. So I think it was one, ABK, two, he left Japan, three, I don't think he knew how to engage with gamers. Four, I think he embarrassed himself too much and put Sony in the spotlight in the whole game market and showed all of Sony's dirty tricks and deeds and how they have a monopoly on the gaming industry. Anybody else?
Not I.
So,
Case closed.
and we'll see. We'll see how that transpires. But that those are my takes on how this is going to turn out. How it turned out thus far. I don't think. I don't know who's going to take over, but I do think, as Jazz said, I think it'd be somebody from the Asian area to take over. I don't think Sony is going to sell that division. I don't think they're going to keep up with gas games as a service. They're going to release those games, but what are they going to do? Sony does not have the pockets to make a lot of
Big moves.
games. Yeah, game and yeah, big
Tell me
moves.
this. Tell me
Mhm.
this. With those ten games, when the Jim
Okay, speaking of 10 games, right? I think you went out,
plan,
OG.
was that his
But
plan?
yeah, that was his plan. I don't. And I think that plan will be put
Do
on
you
hold.
know?
You said you went out when you said it. What did you say again?
I said those 10 games that they had planned was those Jim Ryan's plan. Was that part of
Yeah,
his plan?
yes, that was his move. And I said I don't think right now all those games are going to come out. So
They
if
not.
those, no, I don't
They
think those
won't.
games now. So who laid off today because their games as a service isn't doing as well as it should?
I think they're in trouble.
No, no, no. You didn't hear what I said. I said who is laying people off with games as a service because their game is not doing as well either.
Epic. Isn't Epic laying off people
Epic.
too? Yeah, I thought I
Mm-hmm.
read that earlier.
So if Epic's not doing well with their games as a service, which is one of the biggest ones, I think a lot of people,
That's
especially, have fatigue with all these gas games.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's going to work, but they said the new person from Sony that is interim loves mobile. So they may get rid of all that gas and go mobile and move a lot of stuff to mobile and say we'll keep the PlayStation and mobile because that's where our bread and butter is easy money. And it'll be easy to me to port a lot of them old Sony titles. Just give them a good can of paint, a good
Mm-hmm.
paint job, and put them on mobile.
Spyro.
But we'll see how this turns out. Um, it's going to be interesting the next couple of weeks. Next week, like I said, next Thursday and Friday. Next Thursday and Friday. Next Friday we'll hear the CMA. I mean the CMA. Then the week after, if nothing
I
doesn't
wouldn't be
happen,
surprised if they start selling off some stuff too.
no, I think what they should do, but I'm just talking, what they should do is call Microsoft and say, hey, let us do, let us show everybody that we're game. It's about gaming. We'll give you one title, you give us one title. So we'll give you God of War, you give us one of the Halos, and we'll put them on each other consoles every 10 years.
They don't want no Halo, man.
Are you kidding? Halo's still one of the greatest games ever.
Look,
Don't
I'll be
sleep on
good. They'll
Halo.
Mhm.
they'll take that Halo money.
Don't. Yeah, it'll sell. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll see next week. It'll be hopefully something comes out that the EU's going to close it by next week, and they don't have any more people making objections. But like I say, Europeans are very funny to me. I don't trust anything coming from the CMA, and I'm dead and begin until I hear it. We will see next week what happens next Friday. So hopefully the week after this deal will be closed and everything will be fun. But at that point, uh, I just don't know. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are our topics. Everyone, thank you for listening. Those who stayed on with us, please like and subscribe with us. Our site, we're trying to grow it fast as we can. Jazz is going to have one of her developer friends. And did you say that, Jazz?
Yeah.
Did I miss you? If you can, one in a couple of weeks. So we want to get a lot of people on. She's going to have a developer on. And I think what I was thinking is it may be nice around that time that I may get my nephew, who's a developer too. Maybe nice to have both of them on to get good development perspective. But I want to make sure we have a nice amount of people not to waste their time.
Mhm.
So
Definitely.
we can plan that because I want to get people on here and we're going to have to at least have 20 to 30 people or more because I think we need to have a lot of engagement. But again, let's get our outro zone. Starting with you, Jazamoto, where can we find you? Take your time. Um, yeah, but just wanted to say where can
Alrighty.
we find everyone? We want to start. Who you want to start with?
Oh, I can start.
Okay,
Here every Saturday. Ha! Look, I'm looking in the future.
Thursday.
Every Thursday, 7. That's where the S came from. 7 Central Standard Time with the crew. Gamers
Seven
DMZ.
Central Step.
Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Speaking of um, but I'm on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter /X, and YouTube. All Jazzymoto.
Okay, what about you, Mega?
Well, the name's Megalixer. You'll see me every Thursday right here on the Gamers DMZ podcast at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And yeah, that's pretty much about it.
All right, Serge.
You can find me here every Thursday, Central Standard Time. I will take that from Jazzy Mo. You can find me on Twitter as well under Sir Rich. Facebook as Sir Rich Gaming. X Twitter. You can find me under Sir underscore Rich, and as well as YouTube as Sir Rich. I've been streaming my Starfield play on Twitch, so
Oh, have you?
yes, I have. The whole time
Oh,
I've been
okay.
playing, I've been playing it on online. Last time I didn't
It's
realize I was
ready.
muted the whole time, so it's just gameplay. The last 3 hours I was played, but next time
Um,
I'm gonna make sure
That's
you
funny.
guys can hear me. Yes, I didn't double
Yeah, it
check, and
happens.
that's my bad.
To be
okay.
like that sometimes.
All right, OG.
You can find me here every Thursday with the crew. You can also find me on Twitter fighting console wars, having a lot of fun there. And you can also check us out on Facebook at All Things Geeky. That's All Things Geeky. It's our nerd group. Have a lot of fun on there too. All righty.
All right. Um, did we get you, Mega? Yeah, we got you. We got Serge. We got Jazz. So me. You can find me here every Thursday with the crew. You can find me on my Xbox and my PlayStation, more on my Xbox streaming. And one day we're all going to stream that game together and play it.
Yes.
Um, let's say not this weekend, but next weekend we can try to schedule that and have some fun. But again, that's where you can find me. And you can find me as the one on all that. And you can find me on Twitter as the one. And I'm usually having something to say if OG says something, we follow each other. So we always kind of communicate on there as well. So everyone, thank you for joining. Have a great day. And we're going to let Mr. Surge take us out of here.
Alrighty. right now, everybody. It's time to say holla, holla,
Holla, holla,
holla,
holla,
holla,
Holla,
Let's
holla,
get
holla,
it.
holla. Holla, 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 holla. Holla, 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 holla,
holla.